Are you minding your business?
How will you ever know what it's like to go too far if you never go too far? I'm your host, Eric Brown, and with me, Mr. Mike Jones.
Hey, how you doing, Eric?
I'm focused to mind my business and make sure my mindset is focused on what I want.
Well, good. And that's the question that I started off by asking you during this pod blast is, are you minding your business? It is important for you to know that your mind is an absolute treasure in the context of this conversation. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Every conversation that you are having with yourself is absolutely helping you to mind your business, somebody else's business, or nobody's business. But the absolute fact of the matter is, if you are minding your business in the context of this conversation, then we are talking about being in a growth mindset.
Yeah, and for those of you that are graduates of the Master Graduate Leadership Program, throughout the course of the training, you heard us say, check the conversation. And that's real after the class. What conversation are you having with yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely important, y'all, because you've heard me say this many times, and you may hear me say it many more times because it is so important. Every win and every loss that you are having in your significant relationship, every win and every loss that you're experiencing as a business owner, every win and every loss that you are experiencing as a team member is occurring in your thinking before you ever take any actions at all. So if you have been playing this game as a veteran, if you have been playing this game from your comfort zone, you are in a fixed mindset, and your future is so predictable in the context of this conversation because it is already understood that you are on this well-worn path and you are on it based upon historical data, and it feels safe to you. I'm encouraging you as we go through this process to get off of that well-worn path, because when you're on that well-worn path, when something occurs in your life, it is predictable how it's going to turn out. And quite often in those moments, you are more focused on the potential of failure rather than an opportunity for greater success.
So, Mike, you just pushed up against my paradigm for sure. I always thought that being a veteran was a good thing. That rookies were, unchallenged, didn't know the full scope. But if you had a veteran on your team, you had someone who knew the ropes.
Yeah, and in the context of this conversation, Eric, what I want you to become aware of is that when I am being a veteran with a fixed mindset, I have become complacent. Oh, yes, I can give commentary on how others can do things better. However, my periphery has blinders on them, and I cannot see beyond what I have already experienced or what I know. When I am a veteran with a growth mindset, that means that I have increased my periphery. It means that not only can I see what I know, but I can also be open to listening to others, even rookies, with the intent to be influenced and learn and grow even more.
Got it. So what would you say to our listeners out there who think they're doomed from the start, or they're never going to be able to overcome the challenges that they have going on in their personal or professional lives?
I would say that if you feel that way, it's because you have a fixed mindset and because you're looking in the rearview mirror. Because you believe that anything that can possibly go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law. Well, we have a law here at Discover that says that anything that could possibly go right will go right. That comes from a growth mindset. That comes from looking at things from a perspective of knowing that I have 100% control over my 100% that I can absolutely contribute to my greater success. Now, there are going to be circumstances, Eric, and I know you agree with me here, that are going to be completely out of our control. There are going to be circumstances that are going to knock us flat on our butt. The one thing that I will always be in control of is how I choose to react or to respond to those moments. Now, many of those moments we may have no control over them. However, when I make the choice to control the things that I can control, I am going to be a determining factor as it relates to my success or my failure.
Okay, got it. So then the question on the floor is, if you do fail, I mean, that's bad, right?
Absolutely not. And you know, based upon all of the things that you've heard us say over the past year that we've been doing these pod blasts, that failure's got to be an option in the context of this. But when you are now learning to play the game at the level that we are teaching you to play it, failure has been redefined as an opportunity for greater success moving forward, because I am going to learn in those moments. I am going to grow in those moments. I am not avoiding those moments. I don't feel bad in those moments. What I know is it gave me an opportunity to redefine my 100%. It gave me an opportunity to build my resilient muscle. It gave me an opportunity to build my self-confidence muscle. It gave me an opportunity to increase my positivity muscle. Opportunities abound when you fall down. So absolutely embrace those moments that happen.
So what would you think is more important then? Would it be the conversation you're having with yourself or your talent?
I think that the absolute most important, Mr. Brown, is the conversation that you're having with yourself. Because I'm going to say this out loud, and I know that those of y'all that know me know how strongly I feel about this. Hard work will absolutely always outplay talent when talent doesn't work hard. Now, you can be the most talented person on the planet and not apply those talents in such a way that benefits you and others. But when you are in control of the conversation that you are having with yourself, there is more opportunities for you to make the appropriate choices in that moment that will move you forward and to greater successes.
Man, Mike, that is some smoking hot shit. And I can actually share a personal example where my daughter, who's 4 years old, is in pre-K, and the teachers are telling her that she's smart. And what I did is I went to the teacher and I said, hey, we've redefined smart to being a hard worker. So rather than tell her that she's smart, tell her she's good at learning the answers because she works hard. And I thought it was great. They kind of rewarded her hard work and put it on a little plaque for her for something that they did. So definitely a paradigm shift to the norm.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you've been listening to the things that I've been teaching you along the way, Eric Brown, because that is absolutely the message that we want you to receive today as well. It's not about being smart. If you constantly tell people how smart they are, how talented they are absolutely going to depend on smart and talent in order to deliver what they can deliver, of which they have no control over. If you tell them that what they are doing and the accomplishments that they're making, and celebrate them for working hard, for persevering through troubled times, that is something that they can absolutely embrace, because they have 100% control over those things, which means that I can best my best as it relates to working hard. I can best my best as it relates to being persevering. I can best my best as it relates to being resilient and developing more self-confidence and boldness and patience, or whatever it is that I need in order for me to be more successful. So rather than focusing on the score on the scoreboard, my coaching to you today is to connect 100% to the way you are playing the game. Connect 100% to the way they are playing the game, not the score at the end of the game, because that is not something that you will have 100% control over. What you do have 100% control over is how you play the game.
Yeah, so when you're in the midst of the game, check the conversation you're having with yourself. Ensure that it's focused on a positive outcome and continue to move forward until you reach your outcome.
Absolutely. And you know what I'm going to ask you to do right now? I'm going to ask you to create a conversation that allows you to get out on that edge, baby. Because when you are playing this game on the edge, you absolutely will do better, and know that if you're not out there, you're taking up far. Too much room.
Here we go now.